Make sure you tweet it out too.
Oh yeah.
Link start. I'm still working on
Link startle. Judgment gun morphing. Awaken. Awake. Judgment gun morphing.
What's going on, guys?
We gotta wait for everyone to be here. Let me take this ramen and not put it right next to my mic.
Dude, no one's coming, dude.
We have one
Just
person
face
watching.
it. Just face it. No one's coming.
No one's here.
We always say this, and then there's like 15, 20 people that show up.
No, yeah, just face it. No one's here.
It's a ghost land. Oh, depressing.
Well, how could
it's a ghost town. Never seen anything like it.
You remember that from
Yeah.
Now it's a ghost town.
1,000 people used to live here.
Till, like, more people get
now it's a ghost town. Never seen anything like it.
Yeah. I gotta see that video. I've never seen that.
You've never played COD 4?
Oh, I have played COD 4. I don't remember the line.
It's the opening cutscene.
Oh, really?
It's like
I've never seen it, even though you see it when you launch the game.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember what the whole thing is. It's like it's like 50,000 people used to live here. Now it's a ghost town.
When did COD come out? Realistic,
never seen anything like it.
That was in 2004, right?
Dude, I can't wait to see that in HD, dude.
That's
with the Ferris wheel.
Yeah, boy.
Xbox One on your own, mate.
Yeah, oh, it's true. I know, right?
All right,
yeah, for your 1 week beta. Your 1 week beta.
Dude, COD 4 came out in 2007. What are you talking about? 2000?
Anyways, let's get the podcast started, shall we?
1999.
Welcome back to another Otaku 18 podcast, number 25. We're gonna be talking about the summer anime, final discussions and all that. I'm joined by the original Clue over here.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
What's up, everyone?
Yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up?
So I linked in the chat a link to the Mal site for summer 2016. So
don't look.
We're gonna go. You don't look. You have to look if you want to follow with us. Follow along with us. Oh, I see how it is. Oh, then everyone put one there. Look at that. No, I see how it is. No, I'm just kidding. But
thanks for the like.
No problem.
Yeah, thanks, memory.
Wow, that's the thanks I get.
Wow, thanks, memory and Travis.
You're welcome.
Wow, that's messed up. You guys are messed up.
So what are we doing, Blaine?
So we're gonna be talking about each one. We're gonna focus on the bigger stuff, not the stuff that's smaller. We'll talk about the stuff we watched and all of that, of course. You can join along. We're gonna go in order, so whatever is in order of how it is set up, we'll do that. And overall, we'll just give our opinions like we always do. Anyways, do you guys want to start off with the best one out of the whole group? Real Life?
No, what was it?
Real Life is the best one ever.
Wait.
I thought we said we were talking about the good ones.
That was in the summer?
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about the good ones.
That was in the summer? What?
Yeah, I know, because it came out in one day. All in one day.
Yeah.
I saw Real Life, but I don't know how many of you guys actually watched Real Life.
I watched the first episode.
Yeah, I watched the first episode.
That's about it.
Yeah, the first episode
was
so entertaining. It was so entertaining, but I didn't watch.
Just leave it at the first episode, man.
I would have finished it if it was ongoing,
Yeah, I would have kept up with it
all
every
at
week.
once.
I know. I have to mention this just for the sheer fact that it did come out. Like, people forget this came out in the summer. It came out at the beginning of summer because it literally came out all in one shot, but it did come out. It exists.
Yeah.
I still don't understand how it's got an 8.27 rating, honestly.
It's not that bad. It's got some flaws.
Dude, it's not that bad. And then you look at Tails, it's got like 7.65. Like, the frick is this bullcrap?
That's very true. But
Tails
this is how the
sucks.
system is. Everyone's like, I forgot all about Real Life. Yeah, because everyone forgot about Real Life. But
Who is Real Life?
Let's move on to actually something that everyone should be talking about. Food Wars Season 2.
Woo!
Greatness.
It was great.
Greatness.
I had issues with it, but I didn't hate it. I liked it.
I didn't.
For some reason, though,
amazing.
For some reason, though, I didn't enjoy it as much as season one.
Exactly.
That was just me, though.
It had a weaker.
It wasn't as
concept than
good.
the first one.
It was a different. Yeah,
because it was just like boom match, boom match. Boom,
it
match.
seemed like I think the thing is because like season 1 was like more over like how stuff was executed with like the ecchi scenes, but they actually didn't use that many ecchi scenes within season 2 if you think about it.
No, they really
Not
didn't.
really.
Yeah, and I don't know. I agree with Memory. Like season 1 just was executed a lot better. Season 2 was still good, but I don't know. Season 1 was a lot better.
Because in season 2, it was just like you went from match to match to match to match. In season 1, like before like a major event, before something major happened, like you always had like maybe 2 or like maybe an episode or 2, maybe even sometimes 3, like building up to that event.
Yeah, but it was because of like what happened in the first season to it like going over to the second season with it only being 13 episodes, may I add. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's shorter. And they were obviously adapting after where season 1 came off. So, I mean, it was like it must have been like that in the manga. I think the adaptation's pretty spot on. I think I've heard that.
I read some of the manga up to that point because I was curious, and it really was pretty close. Like, I mean, they really adapted a lot of the same stuff from it.
But just like I don't know, for me, just the way, like sometimes, like there was like a match or 2 that was just like I didn't really care for.
Right, no, it was that. I think I'll be honest with you.
But as you went through,
all of them was bad.
Yeah. As you went through the like matches, it got better. I'd say, like the few beginning ones weren't really anything like too crazy, but as you went along, like it got better. But like, I don't know, with a show like Food Wars, I mean, like most shonen shows, they are like. They can be easy to predict. They can be easy to predict. And I mean, they kind of give it away in the opening too, like who the final 3 were going to be, or that there was going to be like a 3-way final. Like, I don't really like when openings do that.
I know you spoiled the whole season.
No, I don't really like how openings do that sometimes. Like because that's literally what happens at the end of the series, and it's in the opening.
Yeah,
soiled it.
It's not handled that well. Like, you know, just if you watch it, you already knew who was going to win that, especially when he has a cutscene right before that.
Yeah,
you could probably know by the first episode of the first season.
No, because you know, shonen series, you typically kind of gauge who's going to win. For the most part, you know who's going to win on a certain particular battle.
Oh, they made it so obvious.
Is that with that one, they made it so obvious. It's like,
well,
what the hell?
The one red-haired dude, the main character, is one of the ones who won, right?
No, he didn't win.
No, he didn't. No, but what they did, dude, the person who won, Hayama, they literally put a flashback of him before they announced who won.
Yeah,
they didn't put a flashback of Ryo, and they didn't put a flashback of Soma.
Yeah,
if they would have done that, like for each of them, then it would have made it hard, like to predict who was gonna win. But because they did that freaking flashback of just him right before they announced the winner, like you already knew.
Right. Yeah. And they did it in a way where it's just like, oh, what was the purpose of that? Like, you know how they usually do flashbacks in anime where they talk about something, maybe he's thinking about some particular memory or whatever. No, here they are just zooming on his face, and then all of a sudden flashback. Oh, this is what happened to his past. Like, wait.
I mean, the match was great though, I thought. Like, but until that point I was like, oh.
The best whole battle in that whole thing was Subaru versus Soma. That one was.
Yeah, I liked that.
Even though you knew who was going to win that, I mean, you definitely knew who was going to win that.
Yeah, there's no way.
My favorite episode was the last episode, honestly.
Yep.
Wait, of the tournament or the
No, the literal last episode.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that was enjoyable.
But overall, I think Food Wars was at least the second season. I don't think it was that great compared to the first one. It wasn't bad. Like, it was still enjoyable.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it, but I
still think it's a 10 out of 10.
That's a joke. I'm sorry.
Nah, it's not a joke because I enjoyed it.
I think I gave it a 9 or
maybe an 8 for me.
I gave it a 9.
Our chat, by the way, is dead. Oh no!
Yeah,
chat, no! Wake up, chat! You have to be awake. Oh no!
You understand? Probably 5 of the views are us.
Listen, man, you can't spoil the magic No, 5 of those views are not us. What are you talking about, man? Wait, no.
Right.
No, we're not watching. No, that's all 11 different people.
Some people can't make the stream sometimes.
Yeah, too close.
Next one.
All right, let's move on to Mob Psycho 100, which
I
want to talk about. Yeah. Mob Psycho. Let me start off with saying was a show that I really thought was gonna be garbage. I watched the first couple episodes. I hated it, and then I watched past episode 3, and it was like, oh my god. I don't think it's great. I just think it's such an enjoyable anime to watch. Like honestly, the fights are cool. The story's interesting to enough to a certain thing, and even the animation seems to get better after episode 3. So I mean, I thought this was one of those shows that I would hate, and it turned out to be something I actually enjoyed. I was surprised. What did you guys feel about it?
It did start off kind of slow. Like I'll say that. Like the first 2 episodes were pretty slow. But sometimes you need that for a show, and I think like for Mob it worked out really well because like compared to One Punch Man, which is the creator's other work that's behind this, like there's really no character development in One Punch Man for any character. Like honestly, like I can't think like just off the top of my head, like Saitama really gets no development. He's just fucking a character who hits everything in one punch. I mean, maybe you could say Genos, but I there's not a whole lot of character development going on in One Punch Man. In Mob Psycho, it's a lot more character driven, I'd say. Even with the fights and all that, like the fights are sick and amazing.
But you see why Mob always kind of holds back. That's one thing.
Like you can feel for Mob. You can like I came to like I don't know. I came to grow to like connect with Mob, I guess, because like just how he came across at first, and just how he was taught like not to use his powers against other people, and then when he sees like his close friends and whatnot, his brother in danger, then he has to bring him out, especially with how he gets about his brother, man. Like the connection and bond between the 2 brothers is like, yeah, it's so good. But I think Bones did a pretty damn good job with it. They stayed true to the original creator's art style,
which people had issues with. I mean,
yeah. I didn't mind the art style at all. I think it's
freaking garbage.
I think like the art style is very colorful. That's about it.
Yeah, it's really colorful. The music is freaking awesome, especially in the fights. Like, there's like 3 or 4 like really, really good fights in Mob Psycho. Like, all I could say honestly is like fights of the season. Like, there's multiple fights in Mob Psycho you could say is a fight of the season, because there's like when he faces the member of Claw for the first time in the alleyway. Like that fight right there was incredible. Yeah. When he faces the blonde-haired dude for the first time, even though like I don't know, that was a fight, I'd say, but just like taking on the actual like one of the division heads of Claw, with Reagan and what happened there at the end with Reagan and Mob, like stuff like that. I don't know, it was just pretty damn good in my. And I don't know, I would say honestly that I'd probably put it on the same level as like One Punch in terms of like how like
Professor, you saw One Punch Man. Excuse me, Mob Psycho. Because we were talking about that so much now. How do you think of Mob Psycho?
I thought it was a very enjoyable series. I went in knowing that it's just going to be, an exact copy, not necessarily an exact copy, but basically I knew that I was going into a series that is by One, the creator of One Punch Man. And I knew it was going to be wacky. I knew it was going to be fun, and there is probably not going to be much story involved, but there actually is some story involved in Mob Psycho. But the underlying factor is, while the story might not be that serious, especially from the first few episodes, it's still a wacky series, which makes it enjoyable for me. And I think that's what, One's series are all about. They don't have to be too serious in tone in terms of story. They just have to be fun. So,
yeah, and it does get pretty serious at times.
Yeah,
it does get pretty emotional. Like you see at the end, like all the tears coming out of Mob's eyes and stuff when he's just like going through all this stuff, and like
the more stressed out he gets.
Yeah, and lets it all out, man, because he's been taught like from Reagan just to like keep it pretty much bottled in, like don't use your abilities and powers against other people. And like sometimes in the show, and we see it, like he just reaches a certain point where like he has to help, and he has. So,
right. So Inhabit and Travis did not watch, I believe.
I dropped it at episode 5.
All right, okay.
What about you? Dropped it around there as well.
Okay. No, I mean, it's one of those shows I can completely agree with people dropping it, because regardless if you find it enjoyable and all that, and I understand they wanted to keep close to the original creator's art style for it. But the thing is that's an art style that really doesn't resonate with everyone, especially in the year 2016. Like it's very colorful. It looks very good when it's doing like the psychic fights and all that. But a lot of people don't see that. They see very kind of like, I don't want to say choppy animation, more so choppy art style that looks kind of.
I thought it was choppy animation, but you guys say it gets better, so I believe that. But
it does get better. But the thing is that when you get those first initial couple episodes, you're like, it's not anything great. And I'll say that right now.
The art style looks like Togashi just worked on it and he couldn't be bothered. It looks like Hunter x Hunter art style, like when he can't be bothered.
I mean, I didn't even necessarily like that initial battle, the first battle.
Oh, you're talking about the one where
versus Dimple?
No, he's talking about the one before
when
that.
They were in that. I'm pretty sure it's the one you're talking about, in the alleyway with the gang dude.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, no, that was like in episode 8.
Yeah, that wasn't that early on. That was late.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Then I must have watched more than I thought I did.
Yeah, you did.
You're thinking of another fight, because the first fight was.
No, there's only one gang fight in the alleyway, dude. That's the.
Yeah, the first fight was against Dimple in the gym.
Well, the first true fight of that whole thing was actually in that space in the very first episode with this. Well, like that weird.
Yeah,
space.
yeah.
That was like the first real.
I'm so confused if I watch more of it, or maybe I just watched that one. One clip.
I linked you that fight before.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
But it's one of those shows that I think it really had people on a mixed thing with, because everyone either loved it or really kind of disliked it. I think I'm middle ground with it, because I loved the concepts of it, but I also disliked it because I really the art style, man. I did not resonate with that art style. Even when it got a little better, it never was like that great. I think the best moment was the last episode with Reagan's face, dude. Like I've been using it as a thumbnail for everything lately, because his face was just priceless. Where the guy's talking about his past story, and he goes, how's that like mine? He goes, no, it's exactly like yours. It's just this full of sadness and despair. I'm like, what? But I enjoyed the show. I mean,
I don't know why, but the art style really didn't bother me.
Like I said, that's something that
I knew it was gonna be goofy and wacky, and
yeah, but I think people were expecting One Punch Man level stuff, because I mean it's from the guys, so
well, Madhouse didn't stay true to his art style,
right? But I think they expected it to be like that, and I think that's almost how it gauged itself in the beginning, where it's like, oh, from the creators of One Punch Man, it's gonna look like this and that. No, it never ever looked even that close to One Punch Man. I mean, One Punch Man is leaps and bounds better looking, but they are two different art styles.
I don't think One Punch Man would have been as popular if it looked like that.
No, hell no. I guarantee you would not.
My issue is there's kind of no comparison. If this series is trying to be like serious, One Punch Man never tried to be,
Right.
Yeah, this show gets pretty serious, and like you actually see like the main character like sort of go through a struggle.
Right, because he wants to use power, but he just can't.
My whole thing after 4 episodes is you should be compelled by something to stay.
That's very true.
If you're not compelled by the 4th episode, I just say drop it. I mean,
no, it's very true.
At this point, when you're watching like seasonal stuff, you don't really got the time to stick 8 episodes through a series for it to get good, or
especially the summer, because the summer, I mean, as everyone knows, had a load of anime come out, and they were all original stuff for the most part, except for like maybe 1 or 2 that were continuations, of course.
And a load of them weren't that good.
Well, if I'm saying that's subjective, but the thing is, or subjective, excuse me. But the thing is that it's time consuming to watch a whole bunch of shows, and I understand completely. You have to choose and which one you want to put your time into. So it's understandable. Mob Psycho was one of those shows that really, at the end of the day, you'll have people that will agree with you. You'll have people that disagree with you. You have to kind of obey that disagreement because there are things to dislike about it. And it's just no matter how you dislike it or love it, it's the truth behind it. But I think everyone said their piece with that. Let's move on to another very big series, Orange.
Yeah.
I didn't finish Orange the anime. I'll say that right now. I read the manga for it, but from what I hear, it's pretty damn close to it. So it's like, okay. Well,
yeah, it's a really good adaptation.
Right. That's the one thing I've been hearing about. I think that's what made me stay away from it. But so who wants to talk about Orange first?
What'd you say?
I said, wow. You didn't even finish the last episode.
I didn't. No, I didn't fit. Well, because it's exactly the thing was. I'll explain to everyone that has not heard me say this twice now. It seems like the thing is that Orange for me, I read the manga and then the anime started immediately up after that, and I watched the first 2 episodes of Orange and I'm like, wow, this is an exact clone of the manga, like bit by bit, and that to me was almost like rereading the manga, and I had issues with that because I just felt like I just read the story and I don't really want to watch the same story again unfold. So I pushed it aside for that reason. So I'm like, I plan on watching the whole thing again, but it's just, I can't do that right now.
See, that's the issue with, like, reading before watching.
Right. Well, because I didn't know Orange would be, I think at the time, we heard about Orange coming out as an anime, but I was already going through Orange the manga, so it's like, but, Orange was, I think, what's kind of sad about Orange was, would you guys agree it was not recognized as well as it should have been?
Yeah, I'd agree. The manga was doing really, really good, and the anime really didn't. Like at all.
The manga's like top 20 on Mal.
Well, I'm not saying the manga. I'm saying the anime itself.
Yeah, I know.
The anime surprisingly is not. It just even when I noticed reviewers and I noticed people that are watching it really were not getting the views that I would expect from it. Like even big name reviewers were not getting huge amount of views on Orange reviews, and it was like, why? It's just weird to me.
It's because people don't like it when things are adapted good. We only get views when things are shit.
I hate to say it, but it's partially true though. Dude, he's got a point.
It's all the manga tards can be like, not as good as the manga. Even though they're not even watching the series at all.
I know, right? But, yeah.
I mean...
sorry, go ahead.
With Orange, the problem a lot of people had with it was the stuff with Naho and how she like with her emotions, how she got her emotions across, and how like she was kind of a dunce at times. Like, yeah, people didn't like that. But I mean, how I see it, you do have relationships like that. Like you see at the beginning of the series when Naho knows all of this stuff, she knows that Kakeru's suicidal and all that, but like they don't really know each other that long at the beginning of the series. Like it's not like they've known each other forever or like they've been in school together like forever. It's not like they're childhood friends or anything like that. Like when sometimes there's love at first sight, as they say, sometimes you're able to just kick things off and things go all good and everything. But with what Naho knows from the letters, how that like the sci-fi stuff gets thrown into the show, she knows Kakeru's suicidal. She knows what he's been through. And when you're dealing, like, because I've dealt with a suicidal person before, and maybe some of you have as well, but you say like one thing the wrong way, or you say something that seems all right to you, but maybe they take it the wrong way. Like you never know like what that person could go and do. Like they can go and freaking cut themselves. They can go and, try something, And that's why like with Naho, I kind of understand why she is the way she is. And she's not trying to go like all into it. Like crazy. She's kind of nervous about what she says. She's kind of like hesitant. And I mean, sometimes in relationships, you do have couples that are like weird with their like emotions and how they get them across at first stuff. But I think as you move through the series, they do get sort of better with it. in the last episode was just incredible, man. I'm so happy that they made it like almost a double length episode because they were able to flesh it all out like perfectly. And I know a lot of people like the last episode, so.
Right, and I think that's a good sign of a good adaptation is when you can, because like I said, it may have bored me to watch the first couple episodes because I just read the manga.
Yeah,
but
because it is pretty much an exact clone,
right,
honestly. Like it's pretty damn close.
But that's what people bitch and moan about the most is when things don't get adapted correctly. And here you go, having this thing get adapted almost perfectly, if not perfectly. I heard some issues with one episode. I think it was like the second to last one where they said the transitions were kind of wonky with that, where they were going back and forth between time periods, like the current and then also
the
And I heard some issues with that, but I mean overall though, I don't think anyone that had read the manga or saw the anime for this will say that it wasn't a good adaptation. It was a great adaptation. You could tell from just several episodes in. And I could tell from all of you guys talking about it because
I read like part of the way through, and the parts that I read were like totally perfect. And even not reading the whole thing, I was totally fine just watching through it pretty much.
I really enjoyed Orange as well. I read the manga just like Memory did. And Blade, you read the whole thing, right?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, there was slight changes in the anime, just a little bit, like how certain scenes kind of like played out, but nothing major. And I know a lot of people like, Orange is like, when it came to the whole Bermuda Triangle thing, I know a lot of people are going to be like, what the fuck? That's where everybody was kind of like disappointed in it.
I kind of think that was cool though. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
But here's what pisses me off with that.
What?
People actually think like Chibi, like that dude. This dude's like, okay, so you're telling me I could go throw a letter out in the ocean and it'll reach a freaking black hole. Like, they're not literally saying that, like, they don't think that's going to happen. It's just the idea of just, hey, let's do this and maybe something will happen,
They wanted a miracle to happen.
It sounded pretty convincing, though, if you were, like, anime only. I mean, the difference between the manga
and it is a sci-fi series, so...
Yeah, but...
I mean, it's not reality.
The difference between the manga is you can just read forward and realize that the ending was fine, but when you had to watch that 11th episode, you had to wait a week to figure out that, like, I don't know, for it to make up for that episode, I guess.
Yeah, but despite that whole thing playing out, I think the last episode definitely made it up for a lot of people. I really enjoyed it. I still think that the manga is stronger, but I think I think that's just me being biased because I saw that first, though.
Yeah, because you're a tard.
So I don't know.
Nah, I think the manga's like just how in certain scenes the manga like came across and how it was presented. Even like with the anime being, there's color, there's music and all that. The manga, for me at least, in some scenes, like was more impactful. And like you said, maybe that was because I read it first. And then I knew what was going to happen, so it didn't impact me as much with the anime.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, Lotus, it is a sci-fi show.
Dude,
so it's not like they're being like 100% serious at all. It's just like the idea of wishing or wanting a miracle to happen. Like, yeah, it is stupid, but it is a sci-fi show.
The Bermuda Triangle concept, I mean, like, because I used to be a huge fan of watching every documentary on Bermuda Triangle. Weird shit's happened to the Bermuda Triangle. They've said planes, they've had boats disappear there. I'm not gonna get into like every little nitty gritty of it, but it's the concept that things disappear there. And there's always been this concept that it could have been they're going to different worlds, they're getting taken by aliens, all this other stuff. So I mean, it's not. It makes no sense in terms of reality. I mean, like you don't really know. We don't know where things disappear in Bermuda.
Shrouded in mystery.
Right, because that's the concept of it. It's a mystery. But the thing is that people have thought before that it's like parallel dimensions. Oh, it goes to a different world or something like that. That's why in a sci-fi realm, in a show like this, it works perfectly because you think, well, here they are throwing their letters into this weird other rift in time or dimension or whatever. They, like I said, like everyone said already so far, they don't know that that's going to happen, but it does happen. It's something that they just hoped a miracle would happen.
I guess the plus side is that's an anime, and there's actually people in real life who probably think that's actually true.
And Lotus says there was no sci-fi element. There is sci-fi elements. Are you telling me that you get letters from yourself, years before, telling you, this is how I have to do
all
things?
ties in together. It's just the only thing was the time travel.
Right, no, but isn't that right there? Every letter that they're getting telling them to do this, like, I mean, her being the main character is getting all those letters telling her, hey, talk to him this day, don't let him do this. That right there is a sci-fi concept, because you don't have someone guiding you, telling you, hey, don't do that today, it's bad for you. Do this today instead. The whole show is unrealistic, because you don't have a guiding hand in life telling you where to go, what to do exactly. You do that off your own concepts in your own head. So, I mean, that, if you don't realize that from the very gate that this thing's going to have sci-fi elements and always be unrealistic, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I don't think they didn't pull it out of left field, man. Like Lotus said. I mean, from the beginning, you really know. And, like, when they sort of explain, like the whole ocean thing and the Bermuda Triangle and whatever, like, they show that's in the future. That stuff there, because they show him, like, with the letters, hoping that they'll reach, like, themselves in the past or whatnot in another world or another universe.
Yeah, I think the, like, just how the manga and anime handled it, like, it's just to presume the thought of time travel. Like, is it possible? And like, kind of like the 7 wonders of the world sort of thing, right. Or even like hidden stuff in the world that is unexplained. Can time travel be possible? And some people believe it in the Bermuda Triangle, for example. But they never directly showed, Naho's group of friends throwing their letters into the Bermuda Triangle. Exactly. So, I mean, I don't know why everybody's getting so mad. I mean, I can understand why people are getting confused and, why it's causing a bit of controversy, but they never showed Naho's group of friends or even herself throwing a letter into the Bermuda Triangle, and therefore the letter ended up going to, the past Naho in order for her to redo everything. So they never showed that. It's all left to, basically speculate as to how exactly time travel is being used.
Yeah.
So, and that's a show I'll be honest with you, I like that. I mean, I think that, having an element like that where you don't understand fully what's going on is always a good thing once in a while. Because, I mean, they could have probably went into like super details and said, oh, they threw a letter into it, and then all of a sudden some hole opened up and it went through the hole and went through the...
I would have instantly shut it off.
No, how stupid would that be?
I would probably stop.
Exactly. So the thing is that it's better that you could go into your own imagination and go, oh, how did
I
that
think
happen?
they should have just held it off, like, open-ended the entire time, though. Like, I don't know. I mean, in the end,
sequel movie coming out.
I'm very curious about that, but I heard it's supposed to be like a recap of the first one, and I don't like.
There's more content
because of that. Yeah, but you ever see Anohana movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be something like that.
Right, I have issues with that because that's like I don't want to watch the whole series again.
Like, there's going to be more content, but a lot of it's just going to be recap from like Sua's point of view.
Oh yeah, I guess we'll move on from you because
we'll move on.
That's okay.
I have one other thing to say about like
go for it,
the beginning part. I feel like everybody really had a problem with that. Is the whole thing of them getting this letter and inviting him anyway,
Right.
I kind of feel like if you got a letter that said something like that, I don't think you would think it's real. Like, if you got a letter that was written to yourself, would you believe it?
No, but she doesn't really believe it at first. She doesn't follow the first letter she gets.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you realize, like, shit's actually going down the way it was in the letter, you're like, you kind of like, oh shit, dude.
Right.
And, I mean... what do you expect people's personality to be like if they have to be timid around somebody because they're suicidal?
Right.
Some new guy they've never met before in their entire life.
Right. And Nate said it best himself earlier. He said that, when you know someone's suicidal, you have to kind of walk on trepidation with them because they are very quick to do things that, you will not fully understand why they would do it, but they will do it. If you don't know that about someone, though, you're talking to them normally, like I talk to everyone normally, and then you realize, oh, maybe that person's sensitive to that subject or sensitive to this, then that's when you hold back. But until then, you don't know. So it's understandable. I think they handled the concepts very well with this.
Yeah.
But I agree we should move on, though, because we're really spending a lot of time on Orange. Overall, Orange was a good show. I mean, I think it should have been more recognized, but unfortunately it was not. I think the manga probably was something that everyone read and then kind of went to the anime and probably either disliked the anime or more so just didn't want to do what I did, where they want to re-watch it again.
Dude, if they disliked it just because they've read the manga and then they're like, they should have done a different type of adaptation, like, just go freaking watch Filler Star Exorcist or something, mate.
Welcome to every single person on the
If you don't want a true adaptation, just watch Filler Star Exorcist.
Welcome to every single anime.
Or just become a Naruto-tard.
Anyways, let's talk about 91 Days now, because 91 Days was another big one. I stopped 91 Days after episode 3, to be honest with you.
I dropped it.
I watched all of it. That ending, I don't even know. That ending was, that whole episode was good until the last 3 or 4 minutes in my.
I absolutely loved it.
Like on the beach and shit.
The ending was definitely meh, but I'm pretty sure I know exactly what happened because it's kind of like an open end. You don't know if I can't say that because there'll be spoilers, but
No,
I think an open end one was the best thing to do.
It's the whole point of the stream. Go for it if you want to.
It's not really open ended. It's up for the viewer to decide if you think freaking Avilio's dead or alive.
Yeah. That's what makes it an open end because
that's like every mafia. But every mafia show, which is what my only issue with 91 Days was that every single mafia show that's like big always has that really open, like, oh, did that guy die at the end? Oh, what happened to him, really? And that's why I have issues with 91 Days. But that's. And by the way, you're okay with spoilers because I mean we've already spoiled Food Wars, we spoiled Orange. I don't think we can spoil anything else.
Dude, I mean, my issue with shows like that is there's too many characters you have to remember.
Well, okay, all right. Well, then I can give my thoughts on the ending. Then I personally believe that Avilio is still alive because, as we see in
footprints.
What?
Footprints on the beach. They freaking.
You see the footprints on the bridge, on the beach that he's walking and whatnot. The waves come up and they disappear. The footprints disappear. So that kind of speculates the fact that that he just, how do I explain this? He basically is moving on, and what it makes you think that probably Avilio is dead is for the fact that his footprints stop in one track where it was speculated that he was shot or whatnot. But then again, you also have the waves disappearing the footprints, so it kind of, I don't know. And then you see, what's the dude's name again that wanted the revenge? Nero? Nero?
No, Avilio wanted the revenge. Nero's the guy Nero was pretty much the last guy Avilio had to kill.
That guy. You see him smile at the end. Like, yes, you could say that he shot Avilio and got his revenge for, getting from Avilio killing his family. But at the same time, I think if Nero were to let Avilio live, and Avilio even stated that, the whole killing his family was all for nothing because he still felt pain inside from losing his family in the past. So honestly, if Nero let him live, it would give him greater pain and suffering to go on living, like that, with having that mentality, so that's what makes me believe that Avilio could be alive. But yeah, that's.
I don't know if he was dead, like it would just be like, because the whole series was about him getting revenge, and then it ends and he completely, like, he doesn't get the full revenge because Nero's like the last guy he has to kill. But I don't know if there was to ever be another season or something. I don't. And like they reveal, they reveal maybe Avilio's alive. I don't think there'd be any way. That's why I don't think we'll see a season 2. Like, there's no way they could do a whole nother season based on him just trying to kill Nero,
Because Avilio said that he just doesn't, feel anything anymore. He felt like his revenge was all for nothing. So
That whole final episode though was good, honestly. Until
it was still an enjoyable episode. It just
especially the last scene. But I mean, 91 Days as a whole wasn't that bad. I'd say it's your typical like dark, like mafia anime. Like I'd say I'd compare it most to like Gangsta. Right. I say it's a little bit better than Gangsta. And we'll never get more of Gangsta in terms of the anime because Manglobe went bankrupt.
Manglobe.
Unless someone else picks it up, but I doubt it. But I don't know. I didn't find it to be that bad. The animation was kind of choppy at some points. Like, I think you guys know.
Wasn't that cool?
But I mean, there were some some parts of 91 Days and some moments that were like really intense, and I mean, it wasn't that bad.
Dude, that stuff with Fango was so unexpected with Corto.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just smashing his head in and all that. Freaking hell.
Yeah, when Corteo did that, and then dude, I still can't believe Avilio killed his freaking dude.
Dude, that was oh my god.
Dude.
There was some crazy shit that went on in 91 Days, honestly.
It's not a happy series. If you want to watch an anime that's happy, never watch this. It's really depressing. Like it is a depressing.
It's just like a
series,
dark.
really.
It's a dark and down.
It's really
like
good in my opinion.
Some
but
shit.
You won't be happy.
Yeah, some shit you watch like freaking in the pitch black in the living room by yourself.
Yeah. I mean, it is depressing.
You could, if you want, we could switch gears to something that was less depressing.
Sure.
Yeah,
let's talk about Tales of Zestiria the X.
Tales of Zestiria the Cross. Okay, so Tales of Zestiria the X.
Yeah. I'll start off by saying that as a huge fan of the game, I was very, very, very happy with how this ended. I think the way they had where it was very differently adapted from what the game presented was awesome. And what we ended up getting from that was awesome. I mean, it visually started off a little weak, I think, at the beginning, where only the dragons were like kind of really crappy looking, but everything else was visually amazing. And then the dragons become even better. It's like, holy shit, this whole anime became like, I mean, Ufotable really, really knows how to do animation. It's clear as day. And they didn't leave any stone unturned with this. Like, they did the best they could with a lot of other stuff. And especially that graveyard scene in one of the episodes, which I still think is probably one of the nicest scenes I've ever seen in an anime, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that was...
But, you know, I was surprised. I really enjoyed the 12 episodes. I really enjoyed how they took all the characters and made sure they were all used, especially Alicia, who is the one girl that I'm glad they freaking made her more important than the game, because the game, she disappears after like the first 2 hours. Right, yeah. I still have issues with that, but no, they kept her in. They're like, you know what? We're going to leave Alicia there. She's going to be a Soray from the beginning to end.
I just find it weird how they ended it. Like, what my little...
That was probably the weakest part of the whole thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, like, I don't want to listen because I didn't finish it, so... I'm waiting for the... I had to wait because I was busy watching other stuff.
But basically, what I can tell without spoiling is that this is directed to Blade, though, is how they changed the roles of the 2 females.
Right, they did.
Yeah, well, that confuses me because I don't know how it's going to affect the second half of Tales. So,
you know, with the one person who does have to now be with them all the time, I think what they're going to do is they're going to have something very similar to the game where they're going to have that person rise up in strength at one point, because I mean the other person left, as we know, that person left. But I honestly, I mean, I think the only thing I had issues with the last episode, and I think this is for everyone that had issues with this, was the battle. If you played the game and you got up to the battle where you first meet the Lord of Calamity, that was done so much better in the game. And the anime was like, oh boy, what are you guys doing with that? Why did you butcher it that bad?
Yeah, they butchered
really
that.
They rushed it. They didn't have any of the tension or the suspense that the game had. It was, and that was what I was looking forward to. And Rose is not the best girl. I'm sorry, Alicia is. Anyways, though, I will always say that. No, but it just really was not good, that last part. But I mean, overall, I enjoyed the show. I did enjoy it, and I hope the second season does a lot of things right with everything.
Yeah, I agree. I enjoyed it.
Right. You guys haven't? Oh, I don't want to spoil it because we have to be careful with spoiling on Travis' case. We'll we'll be nice with that. What would you think of it? Did you watch the whole thing?
I didn't finish the entire thing. I just had like 2 or 3 episodes I still needed to finish, but I'd say it is really good. I mean, it's definitely worth watching. I mean, especially in the case of animation. I mean, it's easily the best thing animated this season. And
quotable.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's really, really good. I kind of prefer playing the games versus watching the anime, but the anime is definitely very, very good. I mean, I really don't have any real complaints about it. I got a little bit bored of it personally, but it wasn't the like series itself, you know?
Right. It's one of those series that I think it has the same issue that Fate Zero had, where people love Fate Zero, and then there are also people that go, hey, you know, I'll watch this on my own time. I'll watch it like later. Like they fall out of it for some reason.
Yeah.
I can see you easily falling out of Tales.
Yeah.
Without even thinking about it for some reason. It's not that it's bad or anything like that. It's just there's something about it that if you don't follow it as closely as you should, it just kind of.
I mean, that's actually a weird like comparison because it actually really is like that comparison. It's like the same thing with me. I didn't really watch Unlimited Blade Works.
Right, and I mean that's understandable. I mean that's just how it is. I think that type of show is like that. But
I'll definitely finish it. Like but
that. Right, you'll get to it, but it's just especially when you're that close. If you only have a few episodes left, you have to finish it.
No.
I think the only weak part of it, and the part that almost made me kind of turn away from it, was when they added the Tales of Berseria characters.
Yeah.
Which for people that don't know, they're coming out the sequel game, which is like a prequel technically. They're coming out with that, I think, in February around that, or maybe sometime in January. I forgot what the exact date is for it though. But they had 2 episodes that were dedicated showing the Berseria characters. And I don't understand why they did it that way. It just was.
I could see them putting more stuff in later.
Right.
There is another season coming.
Right. I think they will do that, but I just don't like how they did that. I think maybe it would have been better at the end. I don't know. I don't really know if you could have done that.
They should have made it an OVA type thing or something.
Right.
Because they probably could have had two more episodes of content.
Right.
I'm sure the Japanese viewers don't mind it as much as we do. I'm sure it was more hyped for them per se than us.
It's meant to promote the game, which is understandable because other shows have done that before. But it just was really, really odd. It's like here you have this epic conclusion, episode 6. I think it was, and then 7 goes into Berseria, and then 8 goes into. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What happened?
And then when the next episode, like after the Berseria stuff, you just kind of pick up from where you left off like 3 weeks ago.
You're like,
I mean, I'm not complaining because the Berseria stuff was really freaking good though.
Yeah, I think it would have been better rather like off on the side though, not actually like as it was airing. But I get why they did it though for the promotion of the.
Right, and I mean that's nothing wrong with that. I mean that's something we won't understand because we're not the ones, we're not in Japan promoting the game, of course, but. It's just for me. I think the American viewers, if you don't understand that concept, you're like, "What the hell? What happened?"
You got to keep in mind, like they're primarily into the games, so even if that, like adding that in, totally ruined it, it still would have brought a little bit more sales to the game, and it wouldn't really matter to them.
Oh, that would not hurt them at all. Yeah, I mean, here, if it doesn't do anything, it's not doing anything. But.
Like. A lot of people in America probably don't know about Tales, like maybe even some people that went into this anime, but Tales is probably, I'd say, the biggest RPG series in Japan. It's even
Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it's bigger than Final Fantasy.
It's bigger than Final Fantasy in terms of the anime style because people really dig that about it, but it's one of those things that's growing more and more as time goes by because we're starting to see that them like releasing not stop.
Yeah, you kind of see that transition of people jumping off Final Fantasy and onto Tales, especially in Japan. In my opinion, Final Fantasy does better with like turn-based stuff, and Tales has always been that action-based RPG, so there'll always be that pinnacle of action RPG.
Right, which is cool. Which is I really dig that. Yeah, but overall, I think Tales was awesome. I think we all agree it was very, very well done.
It was good.
I definitely recommend it.
I just like how like there's gonna be a character in Tales that you like Like it's very diverse with the cast. The world is like the world's very like beautiful and expansive. There's a whole lot to explore. Like there's whole lots of other things out there that we have yet to see, whatnot. So that was it. And then Ufotable, just like the music, the animation, the art. It was really nice.
I commend them for making sure that it wasn't like playing the game, which by the way would have been a slog in itself, because Tales games, every single Tales game has always been kind of sluggish when you start getting past all the big elements, and then you're going through the fields for like hours and hours and hours. People might have issues with them skipping around dungeons and not going to this dungeon or that. Honestly, they weren't needed dungeons. You didn't need to go to them. So I commend them for adapting in a way that's like, oh, let's just go from here to there to there.
Yeah.
Without wasting time.
You have to keep in mind it's like 100-hour RPG around there.
Yeah,
all the
like
Tales games.
Yeah. 60 if you put in just the main story, 100 if you put side stories.
Yeah. So like a fair thing is saying around 100 hours for you to complete the game. Like
make a 10,
almost any Tales game, in fact.
A 5 to 10 hour anime in total would be like, they did a very good job.
It would be too crazy to add everything. I mean, you should just be satisfied with what you have. I mean,
watch Soray on screen just run to the field for like every episode, just him running through the field.
Oh God, him grinding his level. I'd kill myself. Like if
I would not watch it.
If I ever watch an anime in 4 episodes or 5 episodes of them just ranking up, I would literally quit.
I would try to get through it. I would just be curious how it would go down. Oh my God! But that's
where it would go down is down the shitter. That's about it.
Right. Let's
season 2 hype.
Yeah. Season 2.
Definitely check it out if you guys haven't.
Exactly. Please do, because I think it needed a little more love. I mean, Mal score we talked about that was really low for it, and it does not deserve a 7.65 on Mal. Does not. Let's move on to something I hate. I hated this show. It is the worst thing for me of the summer. The hate for me is real. Taboo Tattoo. I hate.
All right, can we just skip this because it's irrelevant?
Okay, dude. Hold on, man. Okay, here's the thing.
Nate and me are gonna battle.
I'm not saying that the story of Taboo Tattoo is good by any means. The only reason I stayed watching it and somehow enjoyed it was because I just fucking love the fights. The music's really good. The animation art is really solid and detailed. Okay. The story, though, I'll say, it's shit. It goes all over the place.
It skips.
It does.
It skips part, and it makes it obvious it skips parts, too.
Yeah.
It's
and, like,
really bad.
Another thing people are complaining about, like, the random, weird, like, comedic moments and stuff. Dude, I mean,
there are
it is stupid, but in the whole view of it, it takes up, like, maybe a minute of the episode.
No.
Yeah, in most of the episodes, it was just little brief scenes.
I will say this about Taboo Tattoo. It has really good animation. It has some really cool fight choreography at some point.
And the sound effects, too, in the fights.
Yeah.
No,
it was like...
listen, how can you...
It has good animation. It has good...
Wow, those are some sick sound effects.
But overall, it's just bad.
How could you do this? Okay, please explain this to me. How can you have it where your characters are... You have 30 people of an army getting killed by one little girl, right? Have it where the guy gets into a fight with her. He's so pissed off that everyone just got killed, and then 2 seconds after he wins the fight, she's grabbing some girl's boobs and going, "Oh, I missed this so much. I missed you." Dude, how can you do that? How can you do that? It's stupid. Everything about Taboo Tattoo is stupid. I'm sorry.
Okay, the story sucks. The fights are sick. It's an average series for me.
No, we have to.
Oh, but I gotta say,
there's going to be a season 2. Hopefully.
I will say this though: Taboo Tattoo definitely had one of the best openings of the season.
Oh hell yeah!
I like the opening. I agree.
Dude, the music in it's freaking good, man.
The music's okay in it, yeah.
There was a lot of wasted potential with it.
That is so true,
dude. Honestly, I never had too much of an issue with it. To be quite honest, I mean,
I'm glad you didn't.
I didn't think it was great or that I really badly wanted to watch it, I was just watching it. But
how many episodes did you get into?
Almost half.
Yeah, I finished it, unfortunately.
It's not that bad, man. It's average.
I think I gave it like a 4.
I'd say it's average.
I think I gave it
Maybe a
I would
tiny
say
bit
I've got-
below average. I don't know.
I got halfway through it, and it was actually quite good from when I watched it. I enjoyed it.
The final scene of him taking the little explosion trigger and going, "I'll see you. You can lick my ass in hell." Hits that explosion.
Dude, that just sounds savage. I'm watching it now.
And then he goes this, and then he goes, "I'm a Joker. I'm Joker. I'm
Dude,
Joker." What?
Dude,
He says that like a million times.
Dude, the reason this series is good is because it has the best name in anime, Bluesy Floozy.
Dude,
Oh yeah,
That's the only reason it's good.
that name is dope as hell.
I literally might just watch the last episode.
Dude, just watch the last episode. Watch it just for the chopper scene. So he's about to blow the thing up, and that's what he says. And I'm like, and then they show the season 2, quote unquote season 2, and he says it like 30 times that too. I'm a clown. I'm a clown.
Dude.
Yeah, he's
I
just
could-
sitting there. He's just, I'm a clown.
Dude, I could just witness Aaron just being there and his jaw just drop because he can't believe this is
dude.
happening.
I guarantee you, dude, that is exactly what my freaking jaw did. Like I just looked at my screen and went, "What? What?" And my mouth opened.
It did have some good moments though. It really did. Like when it wanted to be serious and stuff.
Episode 8 was freaking amazing. Best episode out of that whole series. When they were fighting and the girl died, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That was an amazing sequence. Like that was all good fights, all good stuff. I liked it, but
It was pretty brutal though.
It had brutal moments. Yeah, it did have some. Especially when people lost their arms and legs and shit.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't hold
Dude,
back.
it was pretty brutal. That's one thing I have to say.
No, I could see it, dude. How it left off, I think it could definitely have a season 2.
Honestly,
it did the same thing as Severing Crime Edge. It did that whole like, what if they had a season 2?
I'm not trying to offend people, but a lot of Japanese people like some really weird stuff, so I wouldn't doubt this would get a season 2.
It probably sells well in Japan, honestly.
It did horrible in Mal, which I'm happy about because they only got 6.14. It did worse than Berserk. That put that into perspective.
But it wasn't worse than Berserk, I'd say.
All right, but let's
I don't know. It's close.
All right. Well, let's
All right. No, but realistically, yeah. So we have some very different opinions of Taboo Tattoo, which is okay. I hate the show, but it's okay if you like it. There's nothing really wrong with that. I will question your judgment. I will look at you funny, but
yeah.
Anyway,
it's okay. Aaron has his wrong opinions, so let's just move
I'll
on.
look at you funny. I'm like, "Ow, what'd you say about me?
Wait, what?
What'd you say? Okay, anyways.
Yes.
Let's look at
Oh God.
Let's look at Amatu Inazama, which is Sweetness to Lightning.
Oh yeah, good for the soul.
I loved this show. I adored it. I really did. I thought it was such a nice, calm show compared to all the action stuff that we saw constantly on screens and stuff. No, this was nice and chill.
Calm.
Nice and calm. I love the father and daughter relationship. I think this was one of the better shows this season. I don't think it had. I want to say I don't think it was like an A.
It was episodic.
Right, because that's probably my only issue with it. Because if it was very formulaic after a certain point, like you just kept seeing the same thing over and over again.
It's definitely just the same thing over and over and over.
Which is probably the only issue I had with it. But overall, I really still loved it. I thought it was just.
I enjoyed it. I still have 2 or 3 more episodes that I still need to watch of it, but because I'm seeing the same thing over and over, there's really nothing much to say about it except
you can't
that
spoil it or anything.
It's just weird. It's just a teacher at a school girl. Memory.
That's literally what Memory said. He was like, "This is just some weird pedo shit."
Before it started, I thought it was going to be some weird pedo shit.
Yep.
Dude, like, I don't literally think there's any.
The cute series.
From what I heard, supposedly in the manga, the girl, like, they talk about the girl's feelings for him. So she does have feelings for him. And you can even tell in the season, every time she's around that dude, she's freaking blushing.
Dude, look at the best example of that is the cell phone scene where she gets a message from the cell phone and she looks at her friend and she bounces backwards and looks at the cell phone like she hides it from him.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, okay, well that's
it's just weird. Like, I don't know. I couldn't just hang out with one of my fucking teachers like that.
Well, they do it anyways, but
like, hey,
I've hung out with my teachers before, but
I've hung out with my teachers.
While you're still in school?
Yeah.
Like every day, you'd hang out with your teacher.
Not every day, but they didn't hang out every day.
I hung out with my science teacher. She was awesome. I used to hang out with her a lot.
Dude, it's like
they didn't hang out every day. It's just that.
Say if I had a teacher, Mrs. Smith. Mrs. Smith is a single mom. She has one kid. Right. Every day she comes over my house and makes food with me with her kid.
What if she's
That's
hot,
fucking
dude?
Weird. Wouldn't that be hot? Weird? Would that not be weird?
Not really. I mean, it depends on how she.
You don't think that would be weird?
Oh, dude, it depends.
That would be weird. That would be weird.
People make everything perversive, though. I'm just agree with me on this. Everything in this day and age is perversive to people. You know, if it's not ever anything weirder than just her making sure she's taking care of you to a point, is it really that weird?
Remember, it's not even that weird. She's just waiting for you to be ripe, dude. Waiting for you to hit that age.
See what I mean, though? But everything perversive. Thank you.
If people done that over here and found out you were hanging out with a teacher, you'd get freaking beat up by people.
I guarantee you would be treated like
what?
Shit.
You would not get beat up. Everyone at school would be like, dude, you're the man, dude. You were hanging out with Miss Smith. Holy crap, dude.
Over here in England, at least, if they found out that, you'd get beat up. Like, I'm not even joking. Or just taking the piss out of, honestly.
Right. Well, if you notice, like at school, when they were talking to one another, they always did this weird thing where they talked. She was outside the window and he was looking in the hallway. So they always made it so like there's secret rendezvous.
Yeah.
Kind of like really weird and kind of awkward rendezvous, which I always thought was interesting because it's clearly they don't want to talk to one another like face to face.
I think it's more or less because she's hiding because she doesn't like eating like that in front of people, you know?
Right. Well, I also think there was like something to it too that I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
No, but, I can definitely see that.
Right. But
but I loved Sweetness and Love.
It was it was great.
Like you could have like a freaking bad day at work or something and come home, watch Sweetness and Lightning, and you just feel good.
It filled your heart with something like of joy, which I thought that was really nice because it never had pervy scenes. Never had pervy scenes. It didn't have anything like etchy stuff like that. It was a father raising a daughter having a struggle. It tugged at your heartstrings. And how many shows this season did that? Like, I mean, besides ReZero, which doesn't even
Berserk
part of this. No, Berserk tugged at my heart for different reasons. That tugged at my heart for different reasons. Right?
I would agree with Travis on that.
Yeah, the best romance of the season, the rape horse. The rape horse.
Yeah, no, since that's a good transition, let's talk about Berserk 2016.
I'll go first.
Go
Sorry,
for it, man.
got my opinion now.
The floor is open to you, brother.
Oh, God. Okay. I mean, I pretty much stated what I feel about it already. It's a pretty bad adaptation. It really is. It got progressively better over time as more 2D art was being implemented. And I think they might be doing that for the second season of this Berserk adaptation, because we're actually getting a second season, which is actually pretty cool because, we're not going to see, probably a good adaptation in forever of Berserk. Berserk has never had a good adaptation. I mean, we've had decent ones, but when it came to this one, it's faithful to the manga, but at the same time, it's not the adaptation that I wanted. But I'm excited for the second season because, again, I'm a Berserk fan. I like to watch my Berserk greatness, but yeah, the adaptation's pretty bad.
It started off like really bad in my opinion, but as you said, as it went along, it got better. But it still never reached a point to where I could say it was like amazing or even like good.
Right.
I'd say it's average. I wouldn't say it's like the worst thing. Even though
I would definitely say that as well.
Average.
Yeah, and I'm actually reading the Berserk manga now, and I can already like freaking tell that like they're screwing it up.
Yeah, I just don't understand why they freaking skipped over 6 volumes.
Yeah.
Like that blows my mind.
Because I'm telling you right now, they want to just get to the meat and potatoes of it. And
I know, but still, how they did it was just ridiculous. They even skipped the freaking beast scene. Guts is inner deep. Oh my! I was really mad on.
I know, I could tell, but overall, Berserk wasn't that bad. I think if you are a fan of the manga, you're gonna have issues with it, but overall, I enjoyed it. Like I told people, I had no real issue besides the adaptation stuff. I mean, I know the CGI was probably the weakest thing of it. That was probably one of the only issues I ever had with it. The CGI was utter trash sometimes.
I love what. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, and the CGI was utter trash at times. And the thing is that there were times where you saw the greatness it could have been. Like the 2D stuff was amazing, and it was wrongly placed. Like one thing I pointed this out in my review. I think, why is it that the girls that the whores, the girls that were following all the time, why were they always animated like the nicest 2D animation, and everything else around them was always 3D? What the hell was that? You're telling me like the least important characters get the best animation? What the hell's no? I have issues with that.
Yeah.
And I had issues where you see the greatness, like the opening. I wish the whole series was like that, because the opening alone, it looks amazing.
Yeah, especially when I was talking about the opening.
Right.
I sent a picture to memory on this a while back ago, but I'm like, dude, look at the earlier episodes of the opening of Berserk and look at the later episodes with the opening. They actually changed the color of Casca.
They changed
got it right, folks. They got it right.
They got something
right. To realize. I think that was a mistake probably at one point, and then they realized halfway through the creation of it, like, oh shit,
we fucked up.
Oh shit,
that's when we knew we fucked up.
We fucked up. We gotta fix it.
Hey, at least they fixed something for once in Berserk.
Oh no.
No, I mean, the whole fact is, I mean, I have the feeling that Berserk is just one of those things where it's a middle finger to the people that are supporting, like, the series. I mean, to be brutally honest, they don't give a fuck, like, they don't give a fuck about your opinion. They'll do whatever the hell they want. I mean, they cut volumes out. They make it look like shit, even though, realistically, they could have done it the right way the entire time. They just chose not to.
Or they could have just fucking threw it to Madhouse.
No one can say that the Berserk manga wasn't popular enough that they could do a proper adaptation of it. Even now. But I feel like it's too far gone to do something like that. You already came out with all of this stuff that looks like horse shit. Nobody's gonna watch through that just for the good stuff.
The films.
You see that screenshot I put in the chat?
Yeah.
Dude,
the films were a lot better than this adaptation, and they were
films. I like the film.
Yeah.
They were even. There's scenes that look like fucking Dragon Ball where they're like fucking teleporting across the screen, but it's just the shitty CGI.
Oh, and then you have that freaking sound effect when he freaking slices.
It's like.
I won't lie, I actually kind of like that. I like the sound effects because they were really funny.
It's like the farting noise from the Attack on Titan live action. Whenever they smash on the ground, it sounds like someone farted.
Oh man!
It's like, and it's like, what the fuck?
But yeah, when it comes to the studio who made Berserk, please, for the love of God, just take your time with the second season.
It's too late, man.
Just end it. Just end everything.
And make it all 2D.
No, listen.
Give it to Madhouse.
Just wrap it up. Just wrap it up.
They put the episode, the rest of the episodes in a freezer, and they went, "We're done. We just have to wait." Just when it's time to release it, it's like, okay, put them up.
Hopefully, they take a Hunter's Hunter aspect in it and just stop, or stop doing anything.
But yeah, I think the best adaptation that we've had of Berserk so far is definitely the 1997 anime. That one I love. That one holds a
which is not perfect either. It has its issue too.
And no, it does have its issue, but there, like how everything was executed in the 1997 made me love Berserk, and that's what made me stick with the manga.
Exactly, I'm the same way, man.
Yeah, I mean the movies were also pretty good too. They actually included scenes that weren't in the 1997 anime that were in the manga, which was kind of cool as well. The CG again was a little lackluster, but it wasn't too bad. But yeah, when it comes to this adaptation, that's just like, sorry.
Yeah, overall, Berserk was not that good.
But yeah, that's Berserk.
Yeah.
Pretty average.
So let's move on with that because I think we're drained of the Berserk talk. We've talked about Berserk a lot.
Yeah, we talked about Berserk so much.
I think Travis is the only one who saw a New Game, right?
New Game. Oh, I loved it.
You want to talk about your love for New Game?
Well, it was really surprising, honestly. You're just like, wow, this looks like something I would never watch. You know, like you saw the cover and you're like, bunch of girls probably making a game, obviously New Game. So you thought that they would probably make a game or play games or something like that, whatever. Mm-hmm. But I really liked it. Every episode was good. The characters were awesome, and yeah, I mean, I just overall enjoyed it. Probably one of my favorites this season, surprisingly.
Yeah, I only watched like 2 or 3 episodes or so, and it's not because it was bad that I dropped it. It was just because I didn't have the time.
Yeah.
And from what I saw, it looked really good. It was really funny and enjoyable. I liked it, and at some point, I'm going to go back and watch.
That's a great ending and decent opening, but a good end, definitely. But the last episode was really good, and
it has
the whole series is fantastic.
Ratings. It's almost at an 8 on Mal.
Yeah, it is a really good series. Surprisingly, like a lot of people on Twitter, actually, I didn't think this was going to be a very popular series, but a lot of people I follow on Twitter were watching it as well, and everyone seemed to like it as well. As I said, it was very surprising, but I really enjoyed it. One of my favorites this season, probably. So. Yeah,
that's going to be a quick one because I don't think any of us have watched it.
I mean, honestly, I dropped it.
All right, so the next one's Alderman, not Danganronpa.
No, fuck off.
That's going to be the same deal there because I think
I will talk about it. Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I loved Danganronpa. Danganronpa was, and I'm not gonna. I'll spare you.
Just talk about both
one.
of them.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna talk about both of them. So what they did was they had both ones air Monday and Thursday, right? And the thing about them was that they were separated into a thing called the Future Arc and Despair Arc. They were meant to, the second one, the Thursday one, was meant to kind of bridge the gap and show you characters from the second game because, they didn't make an anime technically for the second game. But the first one was showing like all the characters from the first game now older and dealing with all this stuff. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. But it was amazing. Like, dang, if you don't even have to be a fan. And I noticed there was a lot of people who never played the games and watched the anime series, and they were like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" It is fucking awesome. I'll curse saying it is one of the coolest series I've seen. For me, it is top 3 of summer 2016, honestly, and that's a shame because there's not enough people talking about it. Look, see, Miss Vitch said it was third favorite for the season, which is anyone who saw it loved it. That's the thing, though, is that no one. I know you guys didn't really catch up with it or watch it at all, but that's a shame. You really should. It was amazing. It was so awesome. And I'll move on because it's not fair to stay
I don't know. I would have watched it if I was able to just watch the first season and then go into it. But I heard like if I wanted to stuff for season 3 or the Danganronpa 3 or whatever, I would have to like
play the game.
Play the game or watch a freaking walkthrough.
No, you don't need to. Realistically,
I could watch the first. I could watch the first series and then go into it.
Yeah, watch the first season and then watch it how it aired. So you watch the Future Arc, which was the one on Mondays, and then watch the Despair Arc which was the one that aired on Thursday. You do that, and you'll perfectly be fine. You'll understand what's going on. You won't be lost. You won't get the like kind of inside jokes at times because there are inside jokes that would be understandable. You played the games, but you don't need to because there's a lot of people who are talking on forums and stuff where they never played the second game or even watched any of the first game, and they enjoyed it. They were able to understand everything going on. So, but it is amazing. I could watch Danganronpa. I'm probably gonna watch it again eventually. It's awesome. It was so awesome, and it's a shame that no one else is gonna talk about it.
I'm at some point I'm gonna watch it, but.
No, but someone just said you can watch the summary of the game. It's 30 minutes long, he said.
You could do that. Look at that, see? It's not, it won't be that hard to like get into, trust me, though, even if you did that case. But yeah, we'll move on because, unfortunately I'm the one here who did that. That's the same thing with New Game, which was Travis only. I'm going to skip, what is it, 7 Deadly Sins, because I don't think any of us saw this. Did any of us see 7 Deadly Sins?
It's not anything to talk about. Right, okay. It's just fixing things and extra stuff, kind of.
Yeah, a lot of it was just comedic
Yeah.
Shit. I mean, the fight with Bon and Meliodas was pretty cool, but
yeah,
that's like the only thing I could say I actually liked about it. It was kind of pointless, but we know there's a season 2 coming, so
yeah. It just hold us over, give us something.
Yeah.
And to tell you guys, because realistically, we're getting at the end of the list of like stuff that's relevant. We're going to talk about Ultimate next, and they'll probably talk about Rewrite, and then probably that's it. Because all the other stuff is stuff I know for a fact we really watched.
Yeah.
Days is not fully finished, so we can't really talk about that. And no one's going to talk about the horrible show that was The Outcast. No one wants to care about
Qualidia Code. God, we'll just breeze through them real quick because Rewrite we thought maybe was going to be good, but it turned out to be trash.
Alderman was awesome. I'll say that right now. Alderman.
Yeah, we'll talk about Alderman in, more in a sec. Like Qualidia Code started off really bad, but kind of it got better as it went along, but it's still pretty average.
Battery fucking sucked.
Yeah.
Amanchu was terrible. Sorry.
Amanchu, I only watched a couple episodes, but it was pretty relaxing, but something I just didn't have the time.
I said Masu Gakuen HXH was.
Oh yeah, Heart Hybrid, baby.
I dropped it after episode 2. I hate it. But so generic.
Guilty pleasure.
My friend dropped it after 6 episodes. He did not want to, but he just couldn't watch it anymore.
I think that's about it. So we'll end it with. We should just end it with Alderman.
So wait. What about Travis's Days?
No,
it's
not
not
I said before, it's not done yet.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's not over yet.
I mean, you could talk about the halfway point, and so far she likes it. So there you go. That's it. Anyways,
damn.
What else am I gonna say about it? All right, Alderman. Probably for me the best of the season. To me, that's just me though.
One of my favorites.
I really love it.
I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's. I don't even. I'd probably say it's top 5 of the season.
For me, it's top. Like I did not think it would be because after the first episode, where it was kind of this really rushed job of explaining things and doing this weird stuff explaining it, it got so much better from there, and it only was ever really good. I mean, I love the way they constantly handled the military stuff. I love the comedy aspects of it. I loved the art, animation, music. I think the opening is something I've listened to 1,000 times.
Oh, the opening's so good.
It's so amazing. And it's done by the people that did High School.
Gate. And they did Gate. And they did the Gate openings too.
Right, so I mean, I love that group in general.
It kind of did give a Gate feel to it, but it wasn't as goofy. It was like a more serious Gate.
The main character was so
Ekta,
good.
Dude.
So
Ekta,
cool.
MC of the year, man, for me almost.
He was the best thing of the show, in my opinion. But
dude, he's
I wish there would have been more fights, though.
And we need a season 2, please, Madhouse. I beg you. I beg you, Madhouse.
Problem is that I don't think, like, outside, I don't think this is doing that great. Like, I don't know, it just seems like Japan's not really talking about that much. I don't see anything really.
I don't really know, like, how to look things up and see what's doing well in Japan.
No, I'm telling you right now, it's not that hard. You look up websites and look up Alderman in general, and just look up to see if they're doing like promotional anywhere. If they're having in like Akihabara, for example, they have promotional pictures everywhere, or they're trying to sell figures or statues or anything like that, because that usually gauges something. Because like, for example, ReZero having ended already, I see 1,000,001 tweets about the new statue of Emilia coming out. I see I think they're making a statue for Rem, and so that means already it's still very popular, still doing very well. But Alderman, I did not see anything outside of the Americans talking about it. Everything else is like, I don't see it anywhere. So I doubt we'll get a second season. I mean, I didn't look up the light novel for it, so I don't know how light novels are doing. But
I heard it gets freaking crazy though. Like, I heard it gets really freaking crazy.
I heard the same thing. Someone told me that it gets to a point that it's really devastating in one moment.
Yeah, like it gets really freaking dark, more dark than sort of it already is at some points.
I mean, and it's to be expected with the military. Anything military, anime-wise, should always be, and that's one thing I would say, it should be kind of dark because it's dealing with war.
War's not sunshine and rainbows at all.
Right. I kind of hate when they do stuff like that, where it's like, oh, they're afraid to show main characters dying. Like, Alderman had some of the characters that were big characters die. Not the main cast, but like some of the bigger characters were dying. And what?
I said os.
Os. No, but it was a well done series. I really loved it. Yeah, but besides that, do we have anything else we want to talk about?
You guys can talk about ReZero really quick if you want, unless you.
I think, and I don't know.
What?
I mean, we could talk about ReZero, but I think everybody already knows.
We'll say that it ended, unfortunately. We'll say that, we will miss it. I think it's kind of... Did you not get that feeling today, by the way? Because I felt that earlier. I wanted to rush home because I was actually out getting food for dinner. And I'm like, oh, God, ReZero's going to start with... Oh, ReZero's not going to start at 1:30. Shit, never mind.
Yeah.
It's over. I felt that. And I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. It like ate at me a little bit. But I mean, yeah, we're not gonna milk it because I know a lot of people want to milk it, and I kind of...
Yeah, if you want to actually hear our overall, go on the Otaku A team and
listen to our thoughts
on.
Yeah, but it was great. It was
a great series. If that was considered summer, I'd say that's the best thing of the summer. But it was not technically considered summer, so we're not gonna get into the nitty gritty of that. But overall,
one last thing, Macross Delta. It ended. It's freaking good. Go watch it.
Go do it.
Yeah, it looks sick, guys. I'm definitely going to be watching it.
It actually is freaking good. I didn't think I'd enjoy freaking mechs fighting with like a idol group singing behind it, but it's really good. And how they do it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I remember the old original Macross. That's like the only thing I watched from Macross was the old.
Yeah, the new one, you don't have to watch any previous Macross series, so that's why I watched.
I'm pretty sure I watched the original Macross as well.
I'm sure you have. It was that one with there was one girl who, she was actually an AI the whole time and she was talking to him. It was interesting. But what? Yeah, no, what? Sorry. What'd you say?
Huh?
Well, I thought you interrupted me for a second. What's up?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, other than
okay.
I have no...
All right. Fuck Miles, then.
Let's say this right now. What would you say? How would you rate? Like, if you gave the whole season a rating, how would you rate Summer 2016?
A 6.
Like 4.
A slightly above average rating.
7.
We only had a few good.
I'd probably say I'm probably in that ballpark too. 7.5, 8.
Yeah. I want to give it an 8 for Danganronpa and Alderman, but
Now, what would you say? Was it better than the spring? And let me remind you, in the spring we had ReZero, My Hero Academia, Kabanari, Bungo Stray Dogs, Kiznaiver.
Yeah,
I think last season was better.
Yeah,
Sakamoto.
Spring was better. Yeah.
Yeah, spring was better.
Yeah.
It's kind of close, honestly.
No, I think summer's better.
I don't even think it's close at all.
Because I think summer's better because I only finished obviously I was watching ReZero. I only finished Boku no Hero and Ushio Totoro season 2. Whereas in the summer, I enjoyed. Yeah,
but you skipped things
Food
that were
Wars
good.
season 2. I didn't skip them. I just stopped watching them. In the summer, I got Food Wars season 2, 91 Days, Orange, Tales, Sweetness and Lightning, New Game, Days started, and that one we didn't talk about because I've not finished it, but this art club has a problem or something like that, whatever it's called. That's pretty good as well. I enjoy that. I'm currently watching that. So I mean, I finished a lot more this season than last season, but I mean, I enjoyed Boku no Hero and Ushio Totoro and whatnot from the season before, though.
I understand what you're saying because I did watch more shows this season than I watched last season. But I honestly, I don't know. I think the shows of last season, the ones I did finish, were just better than the ones of last season.
I think more things went to shit this season.
Right, like a lot of stuff, I'm not saying everything. I'm just saying a lot of stuff was either meh or a lot of the shows that were in the season were not good. Like the Outlast was terrible. The Outcast or whatever it's called, that's terrible. The various other the fart anime. I don't even think I watched even the first 10 minutes of that. I think I'm crazy. I'm like, what the fuck? Stupid shit.
I'm not saying everything went to shit. I'm just saying a lot of the stuff even went average towards the end.
Right, but overall, I think that we'll
kind of close
score. We'll say it's like a 7 overall. I think that's everyone's score aggregated together, which would be a 7. It wasn't as good as last season, or at least most.
No, I think it's about the same, honestly.
You want to say okay? We'll say it was about the same.
I'd say like 7.5 for spring and summer.
I mean, here's the thing. We'll talk about this right now. For us too. So far, it looks like fall could be something of about the same, or not worse. But I want to see there's a lot of stuff coming out in fall. But we'll talk about that, of course, when we get to our halfway point of the fall.
You have to be watching season 2's, kind of. I mean, I don't know. I'm hoping other stuff shines through this season, like the second seasons and stuff. But I mean, you got Haikyuu and you got Natsume's Book of Friends. You got stuff that's obviously gonna outshine most things.
Iron-Blooded Orphans, Bungo Stray Dogs.
Yeah.
Drifters.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's
March comes out.
There's a lot of sports stuff coming out which I like because sports anime is cool for me in my opinion. But you know, you got the continuation of Days, which I'm really enjoying. The second half of it's going to be incredible in my opinion, probably. But the opening I can see, and then you got All Out, the new one by Madhouse and TMS collaboration type thing, and then we got Haikyuu season 3.
Yeah,
like that's some greatness right there. And then we got that Rigatsu no Line, looks pretty sick. Non-Baka, I'm hoping it's like some prison school type thing where it's freaking hilarious, but it probably won't be that crazy, but it should be all right, hopefully.
It looks like we have some hope that this season will be good.
And we forgot about Keijo.
What?
Keijo.
Oh, Keijo, which we're gonna have to figure out. We're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna do live action for that because we have
Okusama
busy on Thursday. Like I'm busy on Thursday. Nate's busy on Thursday, so
nah, we're just gonna do it and upload it one day. We're not gonna do it as it actually comes out. Probably, yeah. That's what we're gonna have to. That's what we're gonna have to do. But we'll figure that out as time goes by. Anyways, though, guys and girls, I hope you enjoyed another podcast. I think we're gonna end it on here because we've talked about all we can talk about. I am happy that you guys showed up and you commented. And as always, we will hopefully be back for another one. Everyone say goodbye.
Hopefully. What are we about to die or something?
Listen, man.
We about to die?
You don't know. Do you know you're gonna be here tomorrow? No. Do you know you're gonna be here next week? No. So yeah, hopefully we'll be be back. Let's be honest.
We'll be here.
We'll be here, most likely, yeah.
Be here or be square.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
See ya, guys.
See you guys later.
Cheers.
See you guys.
Yeah.
I like how you said